One of the major differences between this and like anything else I've ever done is the the high touch component of it. So like in therapy, I would, get feedback about how I fucked up a conversation and like after the fact to be like, yeah, this is what I could have done differently, whatever. And like you can logic in hypothetical situations all day long of like, this is how I'll be better. But then next time rolls around and you're just so freaking angry, you can't remember any of that shit. And there's no thinking. But there is an urgency to respond. So when I had you in my pocket, I could at least freeze. Like that was the best that I could do without like making the situation worse. So I could pause, write you a message, have you translate it out of like psycho bitch mode, and then I could actually go back and use that in the conversation rather than fucking it up and talking about it later. For like people who are like, oh, I'm gonna try therapy or my therapy's covered. Like, I have coverage for this. It's like, yeah, but all you're gonna get is like a lecture about how you could have done it differently or will you do it differently next time? But it doesn't stick. Like in the moment, you cannot access that stuff.
Right. Like in the moment, it is very difficult to access those things. I noticed that. I noticed exactly what you were saying. Like people are like, I just can't access any of it in the moment. Like I know all these strategies, I've read all the books, I've seen all the posts, I've done all these things, and I just can't use it. And so that's one of the biggest reasons I made this whole thing is because I want people to be able to use what it is that they're learning so that they can actually do the things and have the happiness and puppies and rainbows. Like I want that.
And like, I think a lot of the advice out there is like, it makes you feel more guilty than it helps because you're like, I know better. Like, I logically know better. Theoretically, I know what to do. And then you just like get down on yourself even harder for like being a human and having emotions and not implementing things like a robot just because you consumed that information once upon a time.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. When you came to the program, right? When you found me, how were things in your relationship?
Super uncertain. I was letting his decisions like impact every element of my life. Like I felt like I couldn't be successful in my business until these things were fixed, and I couldn't be a present parent unless these things were different. And there was just like every situation like hung on the decisions that he was making, and like wasn't even fully in control of. Like addiction is not necessarily a decision that we make every time, but his actions were just like so heavy on me.
Yeah. And in your business, I mean, you don't have to talk numbers, that's totally fine. Like, how was your relationship stunting your business?
It was just like my entire focus. Like I couldn't be present in whatever business task I was doing because I was just like seething under the surface with all of this like relationship stress. Like it was top of mind all the time.
Okay. So basically, your business was suffering as well as your relationship, as well as your parenting, because you were just leaving all of this up to him. Okay. So when we started working, we started shifting the attention away from his actions and more onto what you could be doing to shape your own identity and then influence the relationship the way that you were looking for. How was that for you? And how is that different than what you've seen out in the relationship space thus far?
Um, well, it sucked. It's like not fun to like, yeah, take responsibility or take like accountability for, like, oh shit, I took this bad situation and I made it worse. So yeah, not like the most enjoyable task to hold that mirror up, but it gave me agency. Like when you take responsibility, you can actually do something about it rather than just like bashing your head against the wall, hoping something changes. So yeah, it's like it wasn't fun, but it, it moved it moved things forward. It gave me like a path forward.
Okay. So it basically gave you more power than you had before. Yeah. And how is that different than what you saw in the other relationship spaces?
I thought that to have that power, I had to like constantly be articulating, like, this isn't okay. I don't like this. This is not okay with me. I'm not going to put up with this. That was the approach that I had been taking. And it just created more conflict and more divide.
So when you switched to the method that we worked with here, what changed?
I let go a lot of blame and like bitterness, which was like the second piece of like taking responsibility. Like, there's not just like one person to blame here. And the bitterness kind of melted away because I was like, oh, well, like I played my part.
So what was or what were a couple different things about working with me that were different than either other coaches that you've seen or other therapists that you've seen? What made this so effective for you?
The high touch stuff. Um, like, yeah, just being able to message you, explain the situation, and get your perspective on it. Um, it helped to like break down that blame little by little. Like it wasn't something that I just let go of, oh, this is my fault too. I feel good. Like it wasn't in an instant. Um, but it was like in each situation, you gave me the reframe that allowed me to show up with, I guess, more empathy. Like I'm already very empathetic, but I think like maybe what I was calling empathy before was just like permissiveness. Like it didn't actually come with the feelings of like, I understand you, I get where you're coming from. It was more just like I don't think I'm gonna do anything about this. Like I will allow it to happen was my empathy.
So the high touch was what really gave you like the power to make the changes in like on the daily, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And so was there anything in particular in our sessions or in like the program itself, any of the concepts, any of the mind shifts that happened? Is there anything that sticks out to you?
Yeah, like the dumbest stuff. Like not being hungry all day. Oh my God, I'm more pleasant. I can handle situations better when I'm not hungry.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, okay, let me think of something else. But like honestly, that's like the foundation of so much. And like again, like blaming him for my hunger. Like why don't you make me lunch? It's almost where I was at. Like clearly I'm busy. Clearly I need to eat. Why don't you notice that? Um, but honestly, just like taking responsibility for that too and feeding myself. Um, and just yeah, in so many different ways. Like I was like buying flowers for myself. Like it's not just like physical nourishment, but just like he started buying me flowers after he realized like, oh, she likes flowers in the house. Didn't ask him to do that.
Okay. Okay. So you you're talking about like the four pillars, right? So the four pillars are sleep and nourishment and personal care and nature. And you realize that when you started focusing on those things for yourself, oh, hey, everything else got easier all of a sudden. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad because it's, I know that you have your own business and I know that you also follow Hormozy, and it's often that, the people, they don't do the basics. They don't do the basics and then everything falls apart and they wonder why. It's because they stopped doing the basics. So I think that very much tracks with it for sure. And so now that you've been on this wild ride with me, how how have things changed? What has shifted in you, in your relationship, in your business to the for the better?
On the whole, I am unruffled. That's the word I'm going to use. Like I, yeah, it's just like I'm not carrying the weight of the world anymore.
I love that so much for you.
Business wise, I did like $12,000 in revenue this week.
Let's freaking go, babe. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's amazing. And so, like, within the last couple months, has your business, like, just, has it gone up? Has it gone down? Like, how has your business been since things have just turned around?
Um, up for sure, but like more exciting than a 12K week is like consistency. Like I am booking new high ticket clients every month. So yeah, just like the repeatableness is exciting.
I kind of want to touch on that for just a hot second because I remember when we first started working together that your husband, not just your relationship, but your husband was he kind of poo-pooed your business a little bit. And he almost was maybe not jealous, but there was something about your business that he was like jealous of. Maybe it was the fact that you were spending too much time in your business and not on your relationship. I feel like that tracks. Um, can you speak to that?
Yeah, I think I was using it as a way to distract myself. So perhaps like not doing my highest leverage tasks, but just like keeping busy. Um, because that was a more pleasant way to spend my time. Yeah. So we had a few explicit conversations about like what do you expect in terms of like time spent in business. Because obviously it wasn't something that I was gonna just be like, okay, I'll stop. I don't have a business anymore. Um, excuse me. But yeah, we did talk about it explicitly a little bit. And then yeah, I also just like set some harder boundaries around like, yeah, we will have some family time where I'm not gonna bring my phone if we're out somewhere, whatever it was. We just like got clear around that.
Okay. So that is no longer an issue for you guys because of the boundaries that you set and the conversations that you guys had.
Mhm.
Fantastic. I love that. So good. So you're telling me you didn't wait for him to change, and all of this just shifted because of how you showed up?
Yeah, like there are still days where his old behavior comes up. Like he's doing the exact same stuff. And I just don't say anything anymore. And he will now beat himself up about it. out loud because like it's not coming out of my mouth, but it will show up still. It's still the next morning is, you know, all of this, I won't repeat it, but just like, negative self-talk. Um, but it's coming out of his mouth now, not mine.
Okay. So the behaviors are fewer, not as often as they were, and now he's taking responsibility for them instead of waiting for you to be the one that's like the schoolmaster and telling him no.
Yeah.
Imagine that. I'm legit so happy for you. I cry when I think about the shift that your life has taken since we started working together. It's just been so dramatic. And I know that we didn't get into a ton of it here, but it has been extremely dramatic to watch you go through all of these things and make these shifts, and you truly have embodied exactly what we do here. You shifted. You. We didn't, like, I never spoke to your husband. You didn't have any knockdown, drag out fights, really, that you told me of. It was simply you shifting your behavior, shifting how you spoke to him. And he just kind of fell in line, for lack of a better term. Were you were you hesitant about this at all? Like when you saw my stuff and you were like, well, obviously my relationship needs something, like were you hesitant at all? And if you were hesitant, like what pushed you over the edge?
I definitely lurked in your content for a few months before I reached out. Um, I don't think my hesitation had anything to do with you. It was more just like, I don't want to look at this. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to do it. Um, and what changed? I had to do something. Like, I just hit this point of like, something has to change. I don't know exactly what sparked that.
That's okay. But you just basically were like, okay, this is what has to happen. Now, what made you want to work with me as opposed to somebody else in the space?
Yeah, I think I told you this on like our discovery call, but it was like the you were posting about the four pillars, and I started eating breakfast. And that was like enough of a shift that I was like, okay, she's right about this. And I have to do something. And yeah, it was just like that little change kind of created this domino effect.
Okay, so it was like you found success with something that I put up on Instagram and you were like, okay, all right, cool. Maybe we'll go with this.
Hmm.
Very cool. Nice. So, what would you tell somebody about this process, this program, working with me, if they were on the fence? If they are like, well, I think I want to work with her, I'm not really sure, I want to know, what's the real, like, give me the nitty gritty, what should I actually work with Danielle and why?
There's nothing else like this that I've found. Like, there's a lot of, like therapeutic options or like people who have like worked as therapists who are now like putting together digital courses and like info products and that kind of stuff. But like the professional boundaries around therapy, like I understand why they're in place, but talking to somebody for an hour once a week is not as effective as being able to pick up my phone and explain I'm super mad and he said this and this is what I'm thinking and stop me before I send this message. It's kind of the state that I'm in when I'm like, help. Um, and you're just like so on it. Like there was never a day where I didn't get a same day response from you. I mean, like usually in the same hour. So it was like it just cut out a lot of that suffering time. Whereas if I had like an appointment with a therapist on Friday, I would spend Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday like rehearsing that hour, right? Because it would just be like spinning for days and days and days. And that doesn't happen with you. And I think that was like a large part of the like general like shift in well-being is like you eliminated all of that like rumination time.
Love that. That's good. That's good. I'm really glad that that was your experience. Like, I feel like that's something that a lot of women struggle with, the rumination time. And I think at one point you and I had had a conversation of like, whenever you have these situations, please reach out to me. And because at one point, I'm not sure if you realized when you could or should reach out to me about certain things. And it's like, no, reach out to me whenever so that you don't have to sit in it. Because,
Even just typing it out, explaining the situation to a neutral third party is helpful. But then like to have your input on it as well as just like, oh, okay, that would have taken me 3 days to get there. Like you shortened that time so much, like so many times. Like it was just like on repeat, like you took away any kind of like rumination or any need to like, message my sister about some shit that he said, which is like then again like damaging the family dynamic, right? Like it makes Christmas suck. Having somebody who like doesn't know anybody that I know, like completely removed from all of it to just be like emotional dump. Like you are just like a safe space where I can be like, look, and you can like take it and turn it around and make it like just break whatever belief, whatever kind of toxic loop I was in. You'd be like, what about if you said it like this? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I like that.
that might actually get him to respond instead of completely ignoring me or calling me a bitch.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And like, it is, I think a lot of like the focus on you stuff would just expand on the rumination. How do you feel in that situation? Like, who fucking cares? What do I do?
I agree with you. And I'm really glad that you brought that up because I know that whoever is watching this, you don't know what we do here quite yet, but that is what we do. We talk about what to do. And your feelings are great. Love your feelings. Let's use the feelings so that we can actually figure out what it is that needs to happen next, the action that needs to be taken. Right? Would you say that, that rings true for you, that we focused on what do you actually do now? Yeah.
And that's a lot of, I think, why it's so effective because you just don't waste time with the rumination stage. Like there's no need to sit in that.
Yeah, I agree. There's no need to sit in that. So many people just love it though. They love to sit there. They love to loop. And I'm really glad that you found your way out of that. I'm really glad you found your way to me because to me, looking at you and looking at your situation and the changes that have happened, it was damn near miraculous. I know that you're probably like, wow, that's a little over the top, but this situation was very hard. It was very hard. And you were able to turn it around. How many times did I come to you in Slack and say, look what you did? Look what you did, when you would tell me how amazing he was, or how he reacted well because you said something good, or how he didn't do something that he usually did before. Like, how many times was I in there just like, look what you did in the best way?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's like you shifted me out of like self-preservation mode back into connection mode. That's the underlying transformation.
Oh, hey, that's what it's all about. Awesome. Well, on that note, I genuinely appreciate you, doing this and helping the ladies who are hoping to work with me and just need that little push so that they understand, like, this is the place for them. And I really appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate you.